like as a tagline underneath my signature and for email.
Oh, that's so funny. That's
old.
So that's what I think is so interesting. All right, should we do it? Should we do this?
We should do it. I'm ready.
Okay. So I'm Danielle Platt, and this is Looking Good. This is Looking Good, my online show. I call it Danielle Platform. So it's really fun because here I get to giggle and be creative with movers and shakers and people I admire. Today, I have a woman innovator, mover and shaker, and somebody who I met at my wedding in 2013. And I always think of you as my mother-in-law, even though I know that you're my brother-in-law's mother-in-law. But welcome, Linda Forman. We can share. You are my mother-in-law, but you are just somebody that when I go to for advice, because I'm so determined in life to like get it all done and really make impact. And then I talk to you, and you are a leader. So welcome,
Thank
Linda.
You. Well, welcome, Daniela. And you know, it's energy and passion that gets you through. You don't have to do things perfectly. You don't have to, be in the right place at the right time all the time, but just that exuding the energy and the passion, it gets you through.
That is definitely something I've had to grab hold of the last few months. So can you introduce yourself? Nobody can introduce you better than you. I've tried. I went through your LinkedIn. Only you can introduce yourself.
I'm Linda Forman. I really want to be a doctor, but because of my temperament, and I never could do well on less than 7 hours of sleep a night. So I decided to go kicking and screaming, being a CPA. And I found out that you need a lot of psychology in that. You need a lot of people skills if you want to really grow. And it also gives you an intro to be a team member of somebody else's business. So in that case, it's kind of like living vicariously in whatever business they have. And that's kind of fun. I also, in 1990, I was part of a group of people in the National Association of Women Business Owners, and they decided to teach me about the amateur version of lobbying. And went down to Springfield. I'm from Illinois, and suddenly whatever we said mattered to people because they never heard of anything from small business. So that developed into a passion of mine to try and use connections with legislators and with the media to try and bring about positive changes. So I'm kind of one of those, in high school, I was known as Crusader Rabbit to some because you gave me an issue. There was a school problem, and where was I? I'm standing in front of the assistant principal's office being a pain in where, trying to get it right. So it's a long.
You were ahead of your time.
Oh, well, I had an aunt who also had the same kind of attitude, maybe not the same direction, but it's, something is wrong, not necessarily affecting me, but something's wrong. You got to make it right.
Right. That's been your platform since the 70s or your whole life, actually, as you're talking about it. But you were really, everybody, I did a little poll in 5 seconds before I jumped online with you. And I spoke to Hillel, I spoke to Rachel. I asked, what should I really bring up? And everybody said you were one of the founders of NAWBO, that you were one of the first, now being a women mover and shaker is a thing, but you did it before it was a thing. And you founded this part of the founding groups. Tell us about your involvement as being a woman leader before it was a thing. And NAWBO.
What's funny is, I didn't start NAWBO, but that started, I think, somewhere in the 70s. And in 1983, as this young person in a CPA firm, one of the partners said, you should go to this women's organization. And thinking, oh, great, a whole bunch of backstabbers and, petty people. The actions where the men are. I'm happy there. But I went And boy, did I find out I was wrong, because I met the most interesting, dynamic, people willing to share, people willing to show me leadership. So from somebody young, I just developed, I fed off of what they were doing, and it was a fabulous learning experience. And if anybody out there is a women business owner, you got to link up with this group. They're just wonderful, and they're very sharing. And we have a national advocacy group. We have a lobbyist in Washington, and we try to partner with other groups so that we can impact legislation.
You're such a mover and shaker. In fact, weren't you rewarded recently? Weren't you given, what gift did you receive recently?
Well, it was actually pretty funny. Besides being the Chicago chapter member of the year, which was wonderful, and I thank everybody for that, they decided to make an inaugural advocacy award. I'd never heard about this before. And somebody contacts me and says, congratulations, you're a winner. And I'm thinking, oh, great, another COVID era scam. And so I called people locally. I said, do you know what happened? I just got this crazy call. And they said, yeah, we nominated you. And that's how I found out. And it was a very nice feeling. And one of the things that I did two things. One is I created a button, and hopefully other things. And obviously the pandemic, you can't get around to people and sell this, but it says that women weren't born Democrat, Republican, or yesterday. And I thought, boy, this would be a perfect thing. And it's pretty much got its trademark. So I don't have to worry about that. And the other thing was 3 years ago, through thanks to my daughter, who pushed me, said, you need an ultrasound if you have dense breast tissue. A mammogram just doesn't do it. Right. And found out, thank God, that I had a very early stage of a very aggressive breast cancer. And I found out from the breast surgeon, Dr. Larry Krause, who should get a lot of credit for this. He said, I've got patients that aren't being covered for mammograms. The hospital holds out bills of up to $1,400. And you're, let's say, a 40-year-old woman, you've got 3 kids, you got car payments, you might have rent or mortgage. How in the heck are you supposed to come up with $1,400? And Illinois has a law that says you have to pay for it, insurance company. And then the insurance companies have a really interesting digit, their middle finger, and they use it a lot. Really cool. And so I sent letters out to 37 of my favorite legislators, et cetera, including some of the top Illinois people. And I sent them out on Friday, and Monday morning, the phone started ringing. And first one was State Representative Robin Gable. And between the two of us, we figured the person with the power to make the insurance companies fall in line and help the women out was the Attorney General at that time, Lisa Madigan, who is wonderful. And she not only got behind me, they have a helpline for women with problems, but she actually had her Assistant Attorney General appear with me and others to talk to groups all over to get the word out, because the media wouldn't cover us because they wanted a victim. And people didn't want to appear as victims because they figured the insurance company is going to screw them some other way. And they were probably not far off. And so it really worked out very, very well. And we needed Illinois to strengthen the wording, because there was always wiggle room to get out of it. And now there's no wiggle room. Right. And they pay for MRIs, and they say, used to be screening versus diagnostic, when they played games there, no longer the games.
Linda, you are such an advocate for women, healthcare. Any plans? How come you've never run for office? Any plans to run for office?
It's
Mayor
funny
of
because
Chicago?
one of the state representatives, very well thought of, a long time ago said, "Oh, you should run for office," and out of my mouth came, "I can't stand rejection," and I think that I'd rather be behind the scenes
Mm-hmm.
than the person that's up front in the political world. I don't think that's me, but I
Okay.
think that somebody who wants to give a little push to someone, yeah, that's me.
Well,
I
behind the
don't take
scenes of every big building, there's always somebody who's in control. And sometimes those people like to be seen, and sometimes they don't want to be so public. But we all on the inside know who they are. And your advocates, the people on your team, they know that it's you who's the mover and shaker behind the scenes. And you've been doing it way longer than all of them.
Well, I learned from others who are where you can't be somebody in a void, and I learned from all sorts of wonderful people, like good friend Stella Black, who one time I didn't quite realize her power until a group from the Small Business Advocacy Council, where I'm a part of, we went to Springfield and we went to meet with the governor, and Stella went along, but only a few of us met with the governor, and Stella had broken her arm. And I said, you know what? I'm not going without her. Either she comes with me to see the governor or I'm not going. And there was all this little, there's, okay, she can come. She walks in, governor looks up, hi, Stella. So it's great to know people like that who, who can teach you who people are, who you should go to for issues, and it's a marvelous learning experience. Every day I learn. And
That's
and
awesome.
right now,
Can you give like, I don't know, 30 seconds, one or two pieces of advice on how women can keep knocking down doors? One or to young women today who are just jumping into the workforce. What do they do to just be fierce? Any advice, wisdom?
well, one thing is you have to find out what you want, what you're interested in, what's beside the walls here. Yes, there's the office politics and trying to figure out how to navigate that. That's one thing.
Mm-hmm.
But in the outside world where you maybe get more satisfaction, figure out what's your passion. Is it, do you love dogs? Do you want to volunteer somewhere? Do you want to advocate for not having puppy mills? That's great. You can have advocate to have legislation passed so that pet store, puppy mill, the link between puppy mills and pet stores is broken, and so that they can sell or certainly display rescue animals rather than inbred dogs. That's another place you could go if you want to work with children, and then you perhaps go to legislators or go to charities to say, hey, these people need funding. There's a great program here to help kids read, and some of the kids are having issues. What if we get retired teachers to help them? What if we bring in men to be male role models for, let's say, junior high boys that could use that support? Find your passion and dive into it a little bit. Nothing comes to you if you don't move.
Hustle. You got to go for what you want. Pick what you believe in and be firm with it. That's
Right.
really good advice.
Don't sit there and everybody complains to their friend, their colleague. Oh, this is bad. This law is bad. This politician is bad. This party is bad. Do something about it. Don't complain. Maybe they want to hear from you. Maybe they have no idea that this is an issue for you. So go, put your work where your mouth is.
Use your voice. Don't sit back.
Right. And don't sit there and let's say I have it's funny because your brother-in-law Hillel and we wanted to go into the psychologist stream or psychiatrist stream, and we figured out that what we would do is let's say, not politically correctly, say, stop whining. Get on, you're lucky. You got a roof over your head. You got parents that care for you. So we decided we really wouldn't be very good and supportive at that.
Oh, that's really funny. What advice do you have for if you were to meet like a 2-year-old now, like what advice do you have for the next generation? Anything you want to if you see kids today, or kids today, they're home zooming.
The kids today, their parents should helicopter a little less, and not all of their needs have to be met instantly. And, put them in situations where I know it's very dangerous, unfortunately, to, have the lifestyle where, we would go outside at 9 a.m. We'd come back for lunch, and we'd go outside until we got the voice of come back in. And that was, nobody worried about us because there was a neighborhood to take care of us. So now, throw kids in the backyard, get groups together. Don't be your kid's friend, be your kid's parent. And if I was a 2-year-old, I would lobby for having, my own little preschool. Actually, in Skokie,
that's interesting.
A bunch of us were, we were there. My kids were 6 months old. Others had 2 or 3-year-olds. There was no place to go, and they didn't have all the, the preschool stuff lined up. They didn't have daycare lined up. So we asked the park district, we said, all we want is a room and some toys. We'll clean it up, no problem. And we used to sit there for a couple hours, and the little ones would crawl and the big ones would run around. And after 2 hours, everybody was tired, including the mothers. And some of us, we had our sleeping kids and we went out for lunch, or just took them home and put them in official nap time. They actually made this a structured mother-toddler group after that. But, you see a need and you go for it. I think that especially now with everybody locked in, that it's really, really difficult. And you almost have to figure out maybe like one family that is very, let's say, closed in, doesn't see a lot of people, and another family that maybe you can make a pact where your kids can play together, because this is so hard on kids. And it doesn't do you any good to do your work or try to do your work and to helicopter around a kid and just try to be the perfect person there. I remember one of our NAWBO had all these wonderful people come to our achievement luncheon to speak. We've had Whoopi Goldberg, we've had Sherry Lansing, we've had Eva Gabor, but Star Jones, who also was a lawyer, she said, I want to tell you something. You think you're the perfect wife. You think you're the perfect mother. You think that you're the perfect, whatever your profession is. I'm going to call DCFS on you because you're lying. You're lying to yourself. You can't be everything. And I think the parents need to realize this. And I think the young kids need to be educated that their parents are not their wishing well or their providers.
That's super interesting because I could walk across the dance floor with you, and I mean you were pretty much a single parent raising your 2 kids, and on one hand you're this mom and you have these 2 kids and you're building this preschool, and on the other hand you're building this huge accounting firm while you're also really being this advocate with NAWBO, fighting for women, fighting for legislature. How did you balance all this? How were you this person that did it all? Like, how did you structure your time? How did you balance it all?
My children cooked at a young age. They did laundry at a young age. They took care of the dog at a young age. And that was part of the balance. Going to a school, they went to Jewish day school. And so that was a long day. So I didn't have some of these, you know, get the child at 2:45 because that's when they were getting out of school. I mean, that would be unworkable. You found friends to pick the kid up or to take the kid to school. You would switch off and on. You have to have ties with other people. It does take a village, and
You built a support network.
You have to have a support network.
That's cool. All right, rapid fire. What's your favorite drink? How many Perriers do you drink a day?
As many as I need. Definitely as many as I need. It is the only thing I drink. I don't drink, I mean, I'll drink hot tea in a cold day or when I need to. But that is it. I have tea, I have Perrier, and you have just ended the conversation about everything I drink.
Favorite ice cream?
And yes, I love certain flavors of ice cream passionately. And I do have a wonderful Zanzibar triple chocolate from the chocolate shop in my freezer. As well as for my next door neighbor, I have black licorice ice cream. So those are the two I stock here. Very interesting.
Very interesting. And yes. Any favorite books or authors that you particularly love?
You know, I kind of pick up absolutely everything. I like mysteries. I know this sounds crazy. Let's say for Mother's Day or birthdays, I will usually get a book with medical diagnoses or stories of medical issues. I love reading them. I adore listening to how people are diagnosed, what treatments they get. I volunteered for 11 years in an emergency room on kind of the later shift because that's when all the excitement happens. I do restraints very well, only when needed, but that's probably my book reading passion.
Very, very cool. All right. Any last words of wisdom or things that don't meet the eye that you want to share?
I think people need to believe in themselves. People need to figure out their self-worth and don't listen to all the voices around you. Do what you need to do. That's really probably some of the best stuff that I wish I would have heard way earlier in my life and didn't.
Oh, absolutely. No, go get your phone.
Sorry about the phone. I will. Okay.
I actually
hopefully I killed it.
Oh no, I actually I actually just wrote, it's funny because on Friday this actually came out. I don't know if you can see. So it's a book called One Habit for Entrepreneurial Success. And I have it's by Steve Samuel. It's produced by Steve Samuelis and Forbes Riley, but they invited me to be a contributor inside. Whoa. And I was like, whoa, yeah, you should. And I'm like, page 540. They moved my page. It was originally page 610. But I have a story in here. It's available on Amazon. But I have a story in here, and I wrote also about say yes to things, like live life without limitations. Like, how come I've been on this planet for 4 decades and more, and nobody told me you could be and do anything? You just have to like listen to your own voice and knock down the doors and really fight for what you believe in. And that's kind of like, I feel like, how come nobody told me? Like, you tell me. I've known you since the day we got married, well, maybe a few days before that, and you tell me that. You remind me, and I love that because it's not usual for your generation to be a leader in that voice, and it's just so refreshing to hear every time you say that to me. I'm like, yes.
And you know, it's funny. You can everybody's got their own internal energy, and it just needs to come out. It really does. Just free yourself. So many people are burdened by what other people think of them, or woe is me.
No.
Look around. You're healthy. You woke up this morning. Make it a great day.
Make it a great day. And the quote you gave me on your checks that I jotted in my Facebook, can you repeat that? Because that was really funny.
Be a thorn in the side of mediocrity.
Just kick it to the side. Be the best you. Oh, Linda, you are
Yes.
so much fun. I love the theme of just
Thank you.
knock down the doors and be yourself and go for it. Like you just
We're
find your
kindred
mission
spirits,
and
Daniela.
find your voice. I know, right?
Yes.
I'm in this
You're just a few
family.
years younger.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate your time. This is so fun. So Linda Forman, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on. And it was great to talk to you.
It was so fun. All right, everyone. I'm Danielle Platt. I'm a communications and brand strategist. I help people in 3 different ways. I help you make your clothing line, take it to market and sell it. I help you take your idea from the kitchen table into the world. Let's do some brand strategy. And lastly, I teach creatives how to sell. In fact, I wrote the book on it. It's called Looking Good, The 10 Commandments to Be a Sales Rockstar and Fashion Startup Playbook. It's on Amazon. I hope you enjoy it and grab a copy for yourself so you could take advantage of the advice that Linda says and activate your dreams, make what you want happen for yourself. Also, the One Habit is on Amazon too. But the point is, make your dreams happen. And that's why we put our works in the world. And that's why you're an advocate and you won't let anything slide by when you know that you can be the one to fix it and help other people achieve. So this is so amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. It was great to be with you.
All right.